Welcome to this video reflection entitled, What Does It Mean to Be an Unknown? With me, Chuck Dunning. Everything here is from my own meditations, doesn't necessarily represent the views of any organization, and is freely shared for your own contemplation. Non nobis Domine, non nobis, sed nomini tuo de gloriam, super misericordia tua et veritate tua. In Martinism, we often refer to our initiates as unknowns, and we have important symbolism that communicates and supports what this title means to us. But given the literal meaning of the word, it might seem a little more than ironic for a Martinist to publicly talk about Martinism, let alone what it means to be an unknown. In this essay, I hope to offer some useful commentary. Historically, we are following in the footsteps of our namesake, Louis-Claude de Saint-Martin, who wrote under the pseudonym Philosophe Inconnu, which is French for unknown philosopher. When the work of Martinism is done well, our worldly personas begin to fade. Ritual gatherings remind us to remain set apart in some way, relieved from our usual identities, creating space for the divine to act through less interference from egoic desires for recognition, prestige, and esteem. The deep mystery of our souls, our unknownness to ourselves, is acknowledged. We become unknowns among unknowns, releasing ordinary fears and vulnerabilities to embrace a healthy kind of ignorance. In this embrace of not knowing, we no longer seek answers from each other merely to patch the gaps in our knowledge and understanding. We welcome the mysteries of existence as truly mysterious. Ritual seclusion and interior focus allow the inner master to guide each of us in a new way of knowing. It is a more inspired and intuitive way, deeply sensed and less bound by words and images. It abides in silent love for truth and one another, and thus binds our souls in unity, fostering growth at everyone's own pace. To be an unknown is to withdraw, yet not escape. Privacy and silence honor the veiled truths of the divine, avoiding pride and allowing love to act simply and freely. In this context, discretion about our insights, understandings, and practices is an act of reverence and compassion, because ordinary words cannot convey the deepest truths, and premature explanations may mislead or distort. Silence also protects. History reminds us that those who labor in light can face hostility and even violence. Even now, servants of love and light are being persecuted, tortured, and slain by the hands of ignorance, intolerance, fanaticism, greed, and power lust. The unknown therefore respects the veil of silence, safeguarding both self and fellow seekers, helping to ensure space for healing, like a seed bank of peace and compassion. In this way, seclusion also deepens engagement with the world. Emerging from ritual, prayer, or meditation, we are more attuned with the divine will, wisdom, and word. Thus our presence, subtle yet real, can bless others without their awareness. We become more beneficial instruments of the divine without necessarily being realized as such. Living as an unknown may seem paradoxical. We withdraw to be more present, concealing ourselves so that a truer light may shine. Simple humility guards the work and transforms service into quiet, caring action. Anonymity and interiority allow mercy and wisdom to gently radiate through us into the world. Consider a flower. It declares nothing, it grasps at nothing. Its beauty lies in being, in its quiet presence in the moment. Yet it wonderfully reflects light, attracting life and freely giving life in return. So it is with the Martinist following the way of the heart, unfolding naturally to nourish spirit and world alike. In their unfolding, some Martinists may be called to speak as the tradition's public representatives. To answer that call, they must first be sufficiently purified in the forge of solitude. Then they can serve as instruments of the tradition, illuminating the way of the heart for others, rather than seeking accolades and followers for themselves. They know when answers in words cannot do justice to the questions asked of them, and when an admission of ignorance is authentic testimony to the mysteries of the ineffable. Continuing the practice of withdrawal into silent privacy, communing with the Spirit in prayer and meditation, they remain unknowns at heart. At the heart of Martinism lies reintegration, the return of the fragmented self to wholeness and unity with the divine source, which occurs through love made active. Relinquishing recognition and the need for merely intellectual answers teaches us to see the divine in all and allows our lives themselves to become the answer most needed. Our interior transformation makes us instruments of healing, growth, beauty, and peace. Intending to make every act one of love makes it a step forward in reintegration, and each moment of reintegration deepens our capacity to love. In this spirit, the unknown threads quietly through the world, a servant of reconciliation, a vessel of the divine heart. Rather than drawing attention to oneself for the sake of prestige, pride, or power, the unknown is transparent to love, allowing divine grace to flow through every action. This sacred anonymity serves the return of all beings to wholeness, harmony, and the radiant oneness of eternal truth. O Divine Spirit, mysterious yet known as the heart of our hearts, assist us in fully appreciating, thinking, and acting with the humble, loving wisdom of being an unknown. Not to us, O Lord, not to us, but to your name give glory because of your compassion and your truth. Amen. Thank you for joining me in this reflection on what it means to be an unknown. Caritas.